In this video, I'm going to explain why some taxpayers deserve to pay more property taxes than others. So this video is going to upset some people. And really, I'm not trying to upset anybody. I'm really not. However, what I have encountered over the last few years is there is this weird mindset that, especially where property taxes are concerned, it is definitely not a perfect system. It is by far an imperfect system. The issue here has to do with the mass appraisal system. I talk about that and I complain about the mass appraisal system, how imperfect it is. And the reason why it exists is because no government, no municipality, no county can send a person to inspect each and every property and evaluate it to determine the fair market value. Fortunately or unfortunately, the tax appeal process exists for citizens to use in the event property owners feel that their values are incorrect. So it's just a part of life. We can rail all we want, but from where I sit, the only system we really can use is that we have to self-report. We have to inform the tax assessor's office about important facts. Now, I hate that they have a terrible system, but also property owners are very lazy. And the thing about it is, there are people who know about the tax appeal process, all right? They know it exists, and they look at it, and they don't do anything about it. And honestly, I can't help them. I have YouTube videos, I have a book, but I'm not going to knock on people's doors. I'm certainly not going to advertise and all this stuff for them to do their own tax appeals. For me, the way I market my products is basically word of mouth, or you do a search, you find my website, my YouTube videos, you find my book, and that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm certainly not going to be going on a campaign and tell people that they need to do a tax appeal, because for some people, they don't give a shit, right? It's too much of a bother. It's too much of a hassle. They don't have time. And I say, you know what? It's really up to you. If you want to take it in the nose and pay these crazy property taxes, you have a right. You have a right to do that. But to me, what I represent, what Tax Freeze Command represents, my general philosophy is people have to choose to be empowered. You have to choose to participate. If you don't want to do it, you're not required to do it. But I'm not all that sympathetic if you're not going to do it. I have told people, I said, file an appeal form. Go through the thing. You fill out the tax appeal form, it only takes like 10 minutes at most. I have a video that explains it very easily. Fill out the form, get it in. As the process comes, you respond, and you will likely get a benefit if you make a small effort. Does that make sense? But I cannot help a lazy person. I cannot help people who want to put their head in the sand. I said, look, I'm not the person setting these crazy valuations against your property. The tax assessor's office are doing it. If you want to complain, great, but it's not going to get you very far. You need to actually take meaningful action. You actually should get educated, is what I think. If you're just not willing to do anything, you get what you get. You see what I'm trying to say? I have a growing community of people who are subscribing to Tax Freeze Command. They know that I've sold copies of my book. I'm thrilled that people seem to be happy with my book because, quite frankly, it's the only book that makes an attempt to explain the tax appeal process in Georgia. And it was born out of frustration that I got sick and tired that there was no good information. And honestly, I really wish there would be an expert. Like, I'm a guy that's being perceived as an expert. But from where I sit, yes, I consider myself knowledgeable, but do I consider myself an expert? Absolutely not. You're watching a video from a non-expert. You are watching a video from somebody who just couldn't take it anymore. Like, there is no book, There was no reliable information, and I decided as a non-expert, as a non-lawyer, that I was going to do something about it. If you're not willing to get educated, you're not willing to do something about it, you kind of get what's coming to you. That's all I can say. I mean, you get what the tax assessors it gives to you because you're not willing to do anything about it, right? You can't be bothered. You don't have time. That's fine. Then you get to pay it. And that's all I got to say. That's all I can do. But you will never see me advertise like all these other services. They'll, we'll do your tax appeals for you and all that. There will never be any advertising from me. The only way you can ever find my book, my videos, is you actually have to initiate the effort to seek it out. I don't take phone calls. You actually have to learn. I don't speak to anybody that wants, oh, can you teach me something about tax appeals or can you do it? I don't do any of these things. I don't service. That's not my interest. My interest is educating and empowering those property owners that care enough to do something about it. And when I do represent certain people very selectively, I make them do the work. I act more as a coach than I officially represent them. I refuse to do all the heavy lifting on somebody's tax appeal. That's just not my thing. But I will help those that help themselves. Do me a favor and hit that like button to help spread this video, and I will see you in my next video.